Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my July wrap up, and I just want to say, if you guys hear like a lot of noise, I'm so sorry. Okay, there's a plane. Can you hear the plane? Sorry about that. And the guys outside are mowing the grass, which they're not. They're just taking the riding lawnmower and going through the street. But anyway, and then they're weed whacking, so like, you know, with the thing. No, they're not, but whatever. They just want to make a lot of noise, and I was trying to wait for them to stop, but they're not stopping. So that's my little rant. Sorry about that, but like, if you just hear it, I'm gonna try to talk a little bit louder so that, you know, but whatever. Okay, so this month I read, I think, 7 books and 1 graphic novel. Isn't that crazy? Especially since before I was in a super reading slump, but I think it's pretty cool. So if I keep looking down, I wrote down the titles of the books so I don't forget like which order I read them in, and 3 of them I don't have the physical copy because I borrowed it, so yeah. So the first book I read was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. So a lot of people rave about this book and say it's totally amazing. It's like the best book ever. It was so good. They loved it so much. It was so funny, yada yada yada. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to I don't know why I said oh my gosh, but anyway, I was like, I have to read it. And so I took it out and I read it, and I was like, needless to say, I didn't like it. It's about this girl whose family goes to Martha's Vineyard once a year for the summer, and they live in this like area to themselves, and pretty much every like her mother and her mother's sisters each have their own homes, and their children are there, blah blah blah. So one summer, something really bad, really tragic, well, it is really bad and tragic, happens, and the main character loses her memories, has amnesia really bad, and apparently could have been way worse, which it's like, okay, I get that, so why do you keep saying it? Like, it's like the author was saying it like I didn't read that already, and it was like, I get it. And the main character is very, very depressing, and like, you know, it's not necessarily that she was talking about death, it was how she was talking about death. And I was like, you're making me depressed, you're making me feel like I shouldn't be reading this book because it's so depressing. It didn't get good until the last like 2 chapters, and before that there was one Wuthering Heights reference, and Wuthering Heights is my favorite book ever, so, or one of my favorite books. So then I was like, oh, I like this character who isn't the main girl with the amnesia. So I didn't like it. I didn't think it was a good book. It was written weird. I was like, this is just totally weird. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is this one, which is Burn for Burn by Jenny Han, and I'm not even going to say the second author's name because there's no way I can pronounce. But I like this book. It was cute and it's quick to read, so it's like good for, you know, summery beachy reads. So basically there are 3 girls, and they're kind of wronged by a couple of people in school, and they come up with this genius idea to take revenge on these people and to get them back. And so the last like chapter, the end of this, I was like, you're so stupid, that's why you don't do stuff like this. The whole time I'm with them, I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, no, now you took it to the next level, come on. And it's a part of a series, so there are 2 more books, and I haven't read those yet because I don't know if I'm ready. And after that I read Wild Cards by Simone Eccles, and this book is really good. It's really good. It's really cute. If you like romances and stuff, then I think you would really like it. So it's about this guy right here, Derek, who he moves to Chicago with his stepmother and his stepmother's son into the stepmother's family home, and kind of starts a relationship with her sister. Okay, I don't think that's a spoiler, but it was really good. There's a lot of adult content in here, so maybe you wouldn't, you know, read over those parts, or maybe because of that you wouldn't want to read it. But it was really good. I did like it a lot, and I realized there's something about fictional characters named Derek. I don't know what it is. So I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. And then, okay, I don't have this one, but the next book that I read is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Oh my gosh, this book was so good. It was so amazing. It was so funny. It's like the perfect summer read. So what it's about is the main character, she writes these love letters to all the boys she's loved before, so that she stops liking and stuff. She writes like a goodbye letter to them. Now, these aren't people that she's dated. She just liked them, and she doesn't give them the letter. She just writes the letter about the things that she liked about them and the things she didn't like. She became not like, you know, she started not to like about them. And the letters are so funny and hilarious. It's like, why are you writing this? It's like so funny. And she like addresses them and everything, but keeps them, you know, aside. And basically somehow the letters get out. 2 guys mailed and everything. And it's so funny because one of the guys comes up to her and he's like, I don't have an STD. And she's like, what are you talking about? You don't have an STD? Okay. Like, this is a guy she doesn't talk to anymore. They haven't spoken to in years, and he just randomly, and she's like, what are you talking about? So it was really, really funny, and it was super cute, and I think you would really, really like it. I want to tell you more about it, but I think that would be like super spoilers. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and then after that, I read Perfect Chemistry, which is also by Simone Eccles. And it's very similar to Wild Cards in the sense that 2 unlikely people kind of come together. So it's about Alex, who is a gang member, and Brittany, who comes from a really rich family. Obviously, she goes through her own situations. I did like it. I enjoyed it. So I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. And this is a series which the other 2 books are about Alex's younger brothers, and I heard that like they weren't as good, but I might still read them anyway because I like the author. I think she's a really good author, and I don't know yet though because I got other books to read too. And actually I didn't like this book as much as I liked Wild Cards. So Wild Cards was good, and Wild Cards is like half the amount of pages. It's like 100 pages. So the next book that I read after that was Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. And Eleanor Park is just simply about Eleanor and Park, 2 unlikely people come together and develop a relationship with one another. So I actually kind of feel like this book has a lot more hype to it than it should. My coworker recommended it to me, and she said she loved it so much it was better than Fault in Our Stars. And I was like, better than who? Better than Fault in Our Stars? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, are you serious? Because you know Fault in Our Stars made me cry a couple of times. Thinking about it, sometimes I get emotional. And she was like, yeah, I loved it so much and everything. And so I was like, I gotta read it. So I read it, and then I was thinking maybe my coworker was a little tired, you know, wanted to go home. Okay, I get it, because I'm like, it's okay. It's not nowhere near that level. It is okay. So I didn't like the way it was written, because I'm like, people don't talk like this. People do not talk like this. I'm sorry. In this weird way. Like, it's not realistic. Maybe that was the point. I just thought about that. It could have been the point, I guess, but I didn't like that at all. And I didn't like how Eleanor was kind of like starting fights, like little arguments with Park. Like, he is like one of the main people in your life that are radiating positive energy, and you just getting on my nerves. You just saying stupid foolishness. So she kind of annoyed me a lot. I didn't like her family situation. I was like, I feel so bad that her and her brothers and sisters have to live in this environment. Like, it just drove me insane. And but I did like the ending. I thought the ending was cute. I thought it wrapped up the book really well, and I did, you know, enjoy that. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So after that, I read this book, Where Things Come Back by John Corey Wiley, and this book was actually really super, it was really good. It's just so good. So the main character lives, you know, with his family in this little baby town where nothing happens at all until one year this guy comes and he's like, there's this ancient bird called Lazarus that has resurrected and is back. And so he brings a lot of attention to their community and to their society, like it's a dystopian novel, but to their community, to their town, and kind of puts the town like on the map. And so that like changes how I think a lot of characters perceive themselves and their lives. And the main character's brother goes missing, and his brother is like the real good kid who doesn't do anything that's like negative. He doesn't even say or think negative thoughts towards people. He's just like good. And he goes missing. They're like, what the heck, how could he have gone missing? So we have a couple of like, I guess it would be called like inter-stories, or stories that interact with each other, that are like going on simultaneously, and then they're interacting. And I was like, oh my god, these like people are, they just take certain things and take it to the next level, and they're just gone. Like, you can't even get them back because they just like, it was good. It was really good. And author actually talks about death a lot in this book, but it's not in an uncomfortable way making me sad like We Were Liars. It's in a way that is that you don't mind, and that is okay. It's like, it's okay, like, yeah, I don't mind, I don't care. It's really good. It's really well written. I really enjoyed it. I was like, you know, let me just read one more page because, you know, I gotta go to sleep. And then one more page turned into like 2 more chapters, and I couldn't put it down. It was so good. Got a couple awards. Definitely deserved like all the awards that I got because it was that good. And the final book that I read is a graphic novel, and it's Fables. And this was really good. This is my first graphic novel ever. So this is volume 1, of course, and it's Legends in Exile. And that's what it looks like. So basically the fables, or the people from the fairy tales, they live in our modern world, and they like one day something happens to one of them. She may have been murdered. And so you have Snow White and the big bad wolf trying to uncover who murdered her, why, what were their motives and everything. So it becomes like a murder mystery. And the girl that goes missing or is possibly murdered is Rose Red, who happens to be Snow White's sister. So it was really good, and I did a like review on this where I go a little bit more in depth, but I just didn't post it yet. So hopefully I'll post it next week. But I really enjoyed it. So those are all the books that I read in July, and yeah, that's it. Oh, I gave Where Things Come Back 4 out of 5 stars, and Fables 5 stars, just in case you're wondering. So I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your day. Bye.